morning was quiet. It was wrapped in soft ice. And as I stepped into the woods, there was kind of hush that kind of lingers before the first bird song. Walking slowly, letting the world reveal itself in small pieces, fractured light through bare branches, the curling reach of the ivy and the way the ground shifts from mud to frost where shadows stretch the longest. This week's been chemo week 1 and a wave of fatigue and dizziness, and of course fog rolled in and out. But I've been moving through the days carefully, just adjusting, seeing how I feel. And one of my quiet goals for the week was to take a walk in the woods and sit with my sketchbook, drawing what's in front of me. Kind of a benchmark in a way, a test of how I'm feeling, but also a reminder to do this more often. I find my place setting against the rough bark of a tree that's carved with 1,000 names. Initials, messages, dates, etchings left behind by hands I'll never know. Some deep and deliberate, others softer and faded by time. I run my fingers over them and I wonder about the people who've stood here before me, who've pressed their weight against the same tree and just caught a moment here, just like I am. Set up my sketchbook on my lap and my eyes are scanning for something beyond what's in front of me. Shapes and patterns, the way the trees lean and how their branches tangle like conversations. I let my pencil move loosely, chasing tone over detail, capturing the way the light pools in the hollows. The sketch won't be perfect, but it holds something true. A map of what I see and what I feel. And then the rain comes. A light drizzle at first, then a steady rhythm, and I could scurry away and tuck my sketchbook under my coat to shield the pages from the weather, but I don't. Instead, I stay, letting the gentle rain fall onto the paper. The charcoal begins to soften and the edges bleed. Pools of carbon form where the drops linger. Just like little knots of black, like the knots in the tree bark beside me. I think there's something about putting yourself in a situation and rolling with the resistance, defying the instinct to run, to protect, or to keep things controlled. Instead, you stay. You watch what serendipity unfolds for you. The rain doesn't ruin the sketch, it actually becomes part of it, part of the story, part of the moment. Later, back in the studio, it's time to take all of this, the visual notes, the observations, the feeling of this place, and mix it with my imagination. This is where the real alchemy happens. The sketches aren't finished pieces, but they're like ingredients, a library of textures, shapes and patterns in which to draw from. I cut a fox from piece of paper, simple, sharp-edged, and I lay it over my drawing. It's just an idea, it's just play, but something works. The fox belongs in the trees, half hidden, half emerging. I move it around, sliding it between the shadows and highlights, weaving it in and out of negative spaces. Sometimes it disappears into the darkness, absorbed by the charcoal. Other times it steps forward, slipping into the pools of light. I watch how it moves and how it interacts with the marks. Does it disappear entirely, or does it flicker between the worlds? let the charcoal guide me, pulling it back with an eraser, layering deeper shadows, making the fox both there and not there, present and unseen. And in a way, it's kind of how I feel too, between places, between energy and haze, and this simple act of walking and drawing and making something grounds me. This process, this mix of observation and imagination, is at the heart of what I do. I'm Sam Morris and I'm an artist, and I weave stories that gently put discovery into my work. My art is about more than just making pictures. It's about slowing down, noticing the world differently and inviting others to do the same. That's why my online teaching inside the studio is gathering pace this year. I want to take people on a deeper route into my process, not just the techniques, but the way the ideas take shape, how a simple walk in the woods can unfold a whole visual story. It's about sharing the moments of discovery, the unexpected turns, and the way creative practice becomes something that supports us all throughout the highs and lows of life seasons. Every step, sketching in the woods, cutting the paper fox, shifting between the light and dark, it's a way of gathering thoughts and testing ideas and finding the best way to pass them on. Teaching isn't about having all the answers, it's about sharing the discoveries, the moments of insight and the quiet joys of process. Maybe that's the thing about art. In fact, I know it's the thing about art. It meets you where you are. Some days it's bold, sweeping strokes. The energy of an idea can pull you forward. Other days it's quieter. Just the act of noticing, of pressing charcoal into paper, of letting something take shape is enough. This week it was a walk in the woods, a sketch on a page, a fox emerging from the dark, a tree etched with names reminding me that I'm not the first person to pause here. I'll see you inside the studio.